Now from the other side. You can hear me out there. My name is Tim Resh. I'm pastor of the Brothers Valley Congregation, Church of the Brethren, out of the village of Brotherton. That's what I'm doing presently, but I've accomplished a lot of other things in my life as well. We heard from the commissioners, and we appreciate the work that they have done over the years and the time spent. But they can talk a little bit more adamantly about their projects and those kinds of things. So all I can do is just share with you a little bit about what I've done over the past 40 years. I started working when I was 13 years old in Dallas Printing Company. Right out during, I was in school, I'd spend 2 hours a day and then work weekends and spend time at home helping Dad out. And as I worked through and learned the opportunity of sharing with other people, I learned to be able to be a listener. And sometimes that's hard to do. So as a young person coming up in the world, I had that opportunity to be able to share in that. The year I graduated from high school, they opened up 219 from out where we know it as Walmart now to Guystown. And all those years since, everybody's been working very hard, and a lot of people have run on that situation in order to get in the public office. And they've talked about it, and I know it's a painstaking problem to try to put all those things together. But it has been a chore. Years later than that, I was in the farming business. I had a dairy beef operation. Spent time in that until it came to the point whenever the first milk price started going down, my wife and I reevaluated as to what we should, to stay into farming or move back into Somerset. We decided to come back to Somerset. My wife had been a former teacher at Somerset. She presently is now again. She got back into teaching. I had the opportunity to move back into the area, back into the printing business. At that time, I also decided to run for school director. I was the director for 8 years. In 6 of those 8, I chaired the technology center, and at that time known as the Voc Tech System. And during that time, we were listening to the community as far as post-secondary education and the opportunities for our youth. I had gone away to a community college right out of high school. I traveled 180 miles one way, came home on weekends, worked. It cost me a lot of extra money, although in that day and age, it didn't cost all that much compared to today. So as we talked about it, we thought it was a very good idea. We had colleges coming into the area and then moving out. So as a school director, it gave us the opportunity to have some classes in Somerset, and that's where ACM, as we know it today, came and got started. And at the same time, we had a problem dealing with offering classes for the evenings. We had them in the evenings. We'd like to have them during the day. We needed a facility. We used a school, but you couldn't do that during the day because of the classroom that was needed there. So there was an availability of the building up beside the technology center. And a couple of you out there probably know as much about it as a lot of us do. We saw that building. We refurbished that building rather than building a new one, and got it started through the technology center, pulling it together. And it wasn't me, it was all of us working together for that project. And the reason it came about was because we worked together. We listened to the community, we listened to their needs, and we projected and moved forward. We went out and looked for vendors to accomplish that task. Some of you are on those boards now presently and still continue to share. A little bit later on, after 8 years on the board, I felt it was time to get off. It's time for new ideas and new thoughts. I didn't run again for a school director at Somerset. I was at that time working back at Atlas Printing Company, and then a little bit later on, the opportunity came up. I managed the Water Authority of Conemaugh Township, and as many of our community members know, at this time, the economy has gone a little bit south, and people are downsizing and losing jobs. 2 years ago, I lost that job. And when you talk about working on budgets, whenever you lose a job of that caliber and you go home and you tell your wife, hey, I lost my job, it's kind of devastating. Many of you have been in that position already. Now that didn't get me down. I've been pastor of the church for 19 years. I've been bivocational for 19 years. The little churches in our denomination many times have people that work in other responsibilities. And so we carry through the opportunity of being able to do two jobs at the same time. So whenever that did happen, my wife and I sat down and talked about it, and I said, well, the commissioner's race is coming up again. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I shouldn't. Her comment was to me that I was crazy. I had run twice before, 8 years ago and 4 years ago. And it is physically demanding. It's mentally demanding. A lot of responsibilities to go along with being commissioner. But I think one of the things that you have to do, in my opinion, and it would be something that I would follow through with, would be listening to the people. It seems like sometimes that the concerns, as I talk to the people now, you know, I'm out and about visiting with the folks. Some of them are concerned about the economic side. They were concerned about the increase in their taxes. Some of the other ones are concerned about those services that are offered through the county. And as it was mentioned by the three commissioners, in the economic times we're in, it's going to be interesting as to how much money is going to filter down from the state and the federal government to the counties. Also, one other comment that I heard from those folks that I was talking to, they didn't really mind, some of them, the increase in the taxes. They said, you know what, if it's a county tax, many times those funds are used to help supplement and help the people of the county. In other words, you feel those dollars coming back to you. The problem they have is sending the dollars to the state and the federal government. And I kind of thought about that a little bit. I never really thought about it in that regard. But it is interesting as we go through life, that life does change and throws different things at us many, many times. So as I stand before you, I ran twice before, came close twice before. I would like to do it again. I would like to be able to listen to the community members, to be able to accomplish things within the county, continue to work with 219. At the same time, the industrial parks are a good idea, but also we have Gilmore building, which is partially being used. We have now the Fleetwood building. I'm a little bit concerned about the areas, our small towns where the main streets are kind of going by the wayside, and our main street up in Somerset is going by the wayside. Bob Ash's office was up there, Carl moved his. I get a little bit concerned when I see the main streets in our areas. So the development of jobs and responsibilities will be a focus, listening to the people and carrying out the responsibilities of a day-to-day commissioner. Thank you very much.